Hey everybody, welcome back. So, we are on a
Not
bit
on
of
the
a,
farm.
not on a farm. We are taking a little bit of a road trip / break. Um, yeah, so we have a 1965 notchback Volkswagen, and John has always wanted to, he likes to do these little runs, and it's been a while since you've done one, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so,
Since.
06. Wow, that's wild. Since 06. So yeah, so we decided to do one and take you along with us. And we are driving right now to it's like right below San Luis Obispo, Southern California. And it's hot. It's hot. Like I've been putting this sweater on my shoulder right here because it's getting baked.
We left a little
sun.
late, and so we're taking the faster route because I don't want to drive at nighttime. We were going to drive along the coast, which would have been a lot cooler, but we didn't leave early enough.
Yeah. And it's so hot, you guys. It does not feel like fall. Like, I haven't decorated our house. Usually I would have all my fall decorations out by now. But yeah, I don't have any fall decorations out because
You're just not in the mood because it's not cold.
It's like 100 degrees outside. It's ridiculous.
It just feels like it could be the 4th of July weekend, and we wouldn't know any difference. It feels like the 4th of July.
Yeah. So, you know, John and I were talking, and I know I said this in the last vlog, in my garden vlog, that I want to do at least 2 videos a week. My goal is to at least do 2 videos a week. Oh, it's a bit of a bump. And, sorry, we hit a little bit of a bump. We're back. So, what was I going to, so, John and I were talking, so my last video, my garden vlog, I talked about I want to do at least 2 videos per week. So that's my goal, is to do at least 2 videos per week. And so this video is going to be a little video about, a little bit about us. Yeah, a little bit about us. So that way you can kind of get a little glimpse into our lives and who we are. And so my name is Jade. And
How about I'll be an interviewer, and I'll interview you with questions about you, and then you interview me about questions about me.
Okay, I guess, but nothing personal. Just like, you know.
Well, I mean, it's all personal, but it's...
I know, but you know what I'm talking about.
Nothing embarrassing?
Exactly, kind of like that. Okay, we'll see. Let's go. Go ahead. This is not scripted. I don't know what he's going to ask me. Let's go.
Hi, Jade. Where were you born?
Oh, I was born in L.A., Glendale.
Glendale?
Yes. How about you?
I went to school in Glendale. I thought we were going to just do, like, one-sided.
I don't know. I think we should...
Do it back and forth? Okay, I asked you a question.
Yeah, and I'll ask you a question. So where were you born?
New York, New York.
There you go.
The place so nice, they named it twice. I was born in the Bronx.
In the Bronx. He doesn't act like a Bronx. He acts like a country boy. For real. He's a country boy. Okay, so, how old are you?
Born 1975. 10 years after this car was made.
So, he's 49.
What year were you born?
1974.
You're older than me?
I love the young guys.
You look like you've been in your low 30s, low to mid 30s. If that, you could, like, if you said you're in your 20s, I'd be like, oh, okay. Late 20s, I'd be like,
I feel like I'm in my 30s still. All right, your turn.
All right, so how long did you stay in LA for?
I don't know, like back and forth. Like, we had family there, so we just go back and forth. I don't know.
So what year did you move to Sacramento?
We moved to Sacramento when I was probably about a teenager. Like a teenager, probably 7th, 8th grade, somewhere around there.
Grade.
Yeah. How about you?
When at 5 years old, we moved out to California with my mom was pregnant with my second sister. And then she had my little sister 2 years later. And so that was the 3 of us.
Have you always lived on a farm?
No, right when I was 5, we came here. We moved into an apartment right when we got here for just a few months while they were house hunting, and they found a 2.5 acre lot in Rio Linda, and that's where they moved to right when we got here. So yeah, I've lived on a farm since then. when did you move into a farm first?
Okay, so let's see.
Pandemic.
I've never lived on a farm until I met John. But, you know, like my heart was always wanting to be on a farm, because when I was younger, I would bring home all kinds of animals. Like, we went to the auction, my dad bought us some guineas, and then I brought home some ducks. I had pigeons, like city animals, pigeons, cats, dogs, those types of things. And then when I met John, so John and I, we went to high school together. We met in high school, and we reconnected back 15 years ago. 2000, yeah. I always forget, 2009, end of 2009.
Yeah, the end of 9.
So we reconnected back in 2009.
Our first date was December 31st, 2009.
Yes.
New Year's Eve.
That's technically our first date.
Our first official date.
Yeah.
We went to a movie and a dinner before that.
Yeah.
But that was just friends hanging out.
We're just getting to know each other. I want to make sure he's not, you never know. High school till adulthood, you never know if they could be weirdos or not. So you gotta check them out first, make sure they're not weirdos. And so he had 2 kids. He had Evan and Alyssa, and then I had one, Jasmine. And so combined, we have a blended family. Evan's our oldest, then we have Alyssa's our middle, and then Jasmine's our youngest. But they're all adults now. They're young adults. Pretty much, yeah, right? Young adults.
Yeah.
And
the youngest is 19.
Yeah, the youngest is 19. It's crazy.
Almost 20.
Oh, it's nuts. And so, so then when I met John,
what were you doing when you met me?
I was running a salon in downtown Sacramento, a little studio salon called Midtown Salon. I loved it. I did education classes. I worked at hair shows, did coloring, like colored hair at the hair shows and things like that. It was so much fun. So I had a little private studio that I would specialize in color. I'm sweating my youth away. That's what I'm saying. Sweating
it's
my
at least
color.
100.
It is. It's so hot. And so our air conditioning's broken in the Volkswagen. Forgot to get the model that had AC. We don't have the model that has AC.
It's 102.
We have these little vent windows. I would show you, but we have these little vent windows right here that can blow the AC around.
You can add pictures on there later.
Oh yeah, I'll show you.
Add video of the car later.
So then, let's see. I was running a salon downtown Sacramento. Then, met John, and he had his 4-acre parcel, and he wanted to move. He didn't like it. It was a lot of work. And
we lived in the house, and
yeah.
we had 4 acres.
Yes.
But we didn't live on the 4 acres.
No.
We just lived in the house like it was an apartment.
Yeah.
And the 4 acres was just there.
It was our backyard.
We didn't use it. We didn't hang out in it.
We didn't really do anything to it.
Yeah.
Until the pandemic. But then when I met John, I got the girls into 4-H.
Well, we started the lambs before that.
Yeah. So once I met John, I found out that, on our little parcel, we can get lambs and horses and things like that. And I could put the kids into 4-H.
The first animal she got was a horse.
Yes.
She's all, John, my friend has a horse and it's free. I said, there's no such thing as a free horse. She's all, yes, it is. She said it's free. I said, there's literally a saying that goes, there's no such thing as a free horse.
So I went to go look at this free horse, and the horse, Bella, was just the sweetest thing ever. And so Dad's probably like maybe 7, 8 years old. I came back home. I told John, I was like, hey, John, I'm going to bring a horse.
She already told her yes.
Yeah, I'm going to bring a horse home. And he was like, no, you're not. I was like, yeah, I am. So then I told him I'm going to go check out the horse one more time.
We had no fencing for a horse. We had nowhere to put a horse. We didn't know how to take care of a horse.
I knew nothing about a horse.
She didn't even realize when we got there, it's like, oh my God, it's so big.
Yeah.
She never even played with a horse.
But I always wanted one. That's like a girl's dream, right? You just always want a pony. That was my dream. I just wanted a pony. I wanted a horse. I loved watching like Little House on the Prairie and those kinds of like
Bella
shows.
is our first and our last horse.
Yes.
We still have her.
Yes. And so we went back. I shook her hand. You know, the gal that we got her from, I told John, I shook her hand, like, she's coming. And still no fencing. Super Bowl weekend came. And lo and behold, the trailer pulls up. And here comes Bella. Unloaded from the trailer. Next thing you know, fencing's up, all kinds of stuff. Then we got cow. We got Ruby or cow, right? Or did we get lambs?
Yeah. No, the cow was first.
Then we got cow. Then we decided, you know, we had the fencing up and everything. We went in partners with our friend, and we bought a cow.
Yeah, I accidentally bought a girl. Didn't realize that.
So I was so excited.
Went to the auction.
Yeah, I was so excited. John and our friend Bobby, they were going to go to the auction. They went to the auction, and they pulled up in a Suburban. So go ahead, tell them this story. I was so excited about getting this baby calf.
Side stories?
Yes.
We went to the auction. Bobby's taking pictures because he's so excited. And they're all like on him, like, what are you doing taking pictures? And he's all, because they thought he was like Peter or something. And he's all, this is amazing. I love this. This is great. And they're like, oh, okay, you're cool. You can take pictures. And so then we went to the auction part, and it was so fast. Like, the animals are just walking through. They don't even stop. And they're like, blah, 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 blah. And I bought the wrong one. And I bought a drop calf. And so got in line with a bunch of semi-trucks. There was like a whole line of semi-trucks in line to pick up their
cattle.
Cattle, yeah, steer, whatever, cattle. And the guy comes up to me, he sees us parked tonight. He comes up and goes, dude, what are you doing? I said, I bought a cow. He's all, you can't, where are you going to put it? I said, in the back. He's all, what? He said, let me see your paperwork. He's like, oh, it's only 70 pounds? All right. He's all, I don't know if the what was it? The ag inspector, highway patrol, not highway patrol. No. I don't know, some kind of ag inspector thing was there. She's like, I don't know if she's going to let you put it in your Suburban. So he leaves, he comes back. So she walks up, she's all, excuse me, what are you doing? I said, we bought a little cow, we're going to take it home. Calf? So what are you going to do with it? I said, we're going to eat it. She's like, right now? I said, no, I'm going to drive it home, I'm going to raise it, and when it gets big, then I'm going to eat it. She's like, oh, okay. So where are you going to put it? I said, in the back. I got a rubber mat back there, and I'm just going to put it in the back of the Suburban. I'm like, if it poops or pees, it's all right. It's a rubber mat. And she's all, what if it jumps up into the front? I'm all, it's a baby. It can barely walk. It's not going to, it can't jump over the seats. And she's all,
our friend Bobby sat in the back.
So Bobby's all, I'll sit back there and hold it. She's all, if I hear about an upside down Suburban with a dead calf in it, you guys are in trouble.
So I'm super excited.
He just laid down and went to sleep.
Yeah. So he calls me up. He's home. He calls me up and he's like, Jade, I bought a cow. Like, I'm so excited. This baby calf. It's so cute. So I come home. I'm super excited. I go run into the stall because we had the stall all fixed up, ready to go. And I see this tiny little baby calf, Ruby. And it has this white bucket of milk, sitting in the barn. I was like, what is that? And he's like, it's milk. And I was like, milk? Can it drink milk out of a bucket?
The lady told me at the thing, so do you know what you just bought? I said, yeah, baby cow. She said, it's called a drop calf. So do you know what that means? I said, no. She said, it means the mom didn't feed it. So you have to feed it. She's like, it's hungry right now. Like, right now, it's hungry.
Yeah.
Like, you need to feed it right now. I'm like, oh, what do you feed it? She said, milk. You can get it from the feed store. Okay, I know where the feed store is at.
Formula. You gotta get formula.
I gave it milk.
Yeah. So you buy this bag of formula. You gotta honk too.
Everybody likes our car. Nothing's falling off. They just like our car.
Yeah. So here we are. You know, I see this bucket of milk. I was like, I never seen a baby go up to the refrigerator and grab a bottle of milk. I was like, there's no way this baby calf can drink milk. So then it pees, and the pee is coming out the back end. And I'm looking at it. I was like, I don't know, sweetie. I think it's like missing some parts or something. Are you sure you got a steer? And so we go look at the paperwork. No, we did not get a steer. We got a heifer. Yeah, like a dairy cow. A good one, too. We know nothing. We knew nothing about anything about cows, horses, nothing. So now we have this heifer.
And she tasted delicious.
Yeah. And so I run into the house. I MacGyver like this rubber glove, this dish glove, and a sports bottle. So I put the formula in the sports bottle. I run it out there, and she's sucking the rubber finger is all over the place, all wobbly.
But then we realized she needed a nipple. That's how big
she
she
really
was.
strong.
My dumbass thought she could drink out of a bucket.
Yeah. So then we were bottle feeding this sucker, like, for a while. So I bottle fed this baby.
You have to feed it once in the morning, once at night.
And then,
until the whole bag of formula was gone.
Yeah, that's how they taught us. They were like, we asked them, when do we start feeding it grain or grass? And they said, when the bag, 50-pound bag of formula is gone. So that's what we did. We finished the 50-bag formula. Then I go back and
like
how do I teach it how to eat grain? They said, okay, now when you're coming towards the end, you put the bottle in its mouth. You take
we learned all of this on YouTube.
Yeah, you take a handful of grain.
Is YouTube.
Oh, is it YouTube?
Yeah.
Take a handful of grain. You take out the bottle really fast. You stick the grain on their tongue. You wipe it on their tongue, and you stick the bottle back in their mouth. And that's how you train the baby to eat grain.
And at first it's hella bitter, so they're like, "Oh, I'll get that bitterness out of my mouth."
Yeah.
But then they start to like it. Then
it doesn't have a mom to show them.
Yeah.
What to do. So we had to be its mom.
So it doesn't even know how to chew on it.
Heartless, my gosh. So then, after that, we raise it. Well, one out of how many cows?
I think they said 1 out of 200.
1 out of 200 cows will be super smart.
It'll learn that it can just walk through a fence.
No problem. And we didn't have no hot wire. We didn't have any hot wires on our fence. We just had barbed wire
we thought, where would she want to go? She's got plenty of food.
Yeah.
The whole field to herself.
Yeah.
We forgot that she's going to want some bulls, yeah. And we had a neighbor with a whole field of steer.
Yeah.
And that's where she went.
So she was over there, hopping the fence, going underneath the fence.
We didn't plan on processing her for quite a while.
Yeah, but we ended up doing it early. And let me tell you, we ended up getting 539 something pounds of meat from her.
No, each.
Yeah. It was so much meat. It lasted over a year. Almost a year.
We had it flash frozen.
Yeah.
And sealed.
Delicious.
And it was, the butcher did a really good job. And they said it lasts 3 years in the freezer.
It was amazing.
It didn't last 2 years, but it lasted over a year.
Yeah. And so then after that, so while we had Ruby, we ended up doing the lamb. So
we
during
missed that.
Yeah.
For sure.
During this whole time, the girls were in 4-H. We're going to 4-H classes. We're learning how to raise lamb. My daughter, I made her, she wanted to get into 4-H. And I was like, if you want to get into 4-H, then you're going to have to buy your own goats, because she wanted to show goats. And she was too young to show meat goats or meat animals. So she was in showmanship. So we ended up doing that. And they did it for a few years.
And they're more manageable.
Yeah. And so then Orange Chicken was our goat. He ended up being my goat. We didn't eat him. We had him till the end. But the lambs, we ended up loving the taste of lamb. And we learned that a lamb is a lamb up until a year old. Once it passed a year old, you have a sheep. It's called mutton. The meat is called mutton. And so, so you want to raise your lamb up until, 11 months, 10 months is the best. It's the sweet spot. So that's what we've been doing, is raising lamb. So we were raising lamb that whole time. And then the pandemic hit. And bam. My salon shut down. I didn't know when it was going to reopen. Events, John was doing.
My business went just completely closed.
Shut down.
Just shut down.
Events, we were doing, he did street
employees
fairs,
just had nothing. There was nothing for them to do.
Yeah.
It was completely closed.
Yeah.
We did street fairs and festivals. They didn't exist anymore.
Yeah. And so then, right at that moment, as that whole shindig was going down, we were in the process of purchasing a commercial
we had already purchased it.
Yeah.
The purchase was complete.
Yeah.
Before the pandemic, but we just brand new.
It was brand new.
And it was, thank God, because we planned on doing all of it. We planned on running the landscape business and doing the events. And we were going to cut back on the other things.
Yes.
I was going to cut back on the events. We were just going to cut back just to Berry Fest. And I was going to do a couple other ones.
And I was going to slowly get out of the salon industry and things like
we
that.
Went full bore
renegade
into
landscaping.
And the landscaping business actually got busier because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
So we were learning and busy at the same time. So
my early videos are pretty much like Yeah, right when we started.
Yeah.
Yeah, right when we started. And so we learned like I knew nothing about plants. I remember going to me and my cousin Jessica, because Jessica was working with me. I remember going to the nursery and looking at marigolds and thinking, "Oh my God, those are so beautiful." Or the penny violas, or the pansies. And now I look at them like that's just like any normal plant. That's like a everyday, like they sell those flowers, those plants at the nursery every season. Snapdragons, pansies. Now I know what plants work well, like what flowers, annuals, work well in the landscape. Which it took me a while to figure out perennials and annuals. I had no idea. So that's when the garden started. So that's when we started doing the little garden. And I just started, bringing in those
When I
frames.
started training with Ray, that was like one of the first things he taught
Ray
me.
is the guy that we bought the business from.
Yeah, he trained me in landscaping.
Yeah.
The company undercover, I worked for a year in the landscape department to learn that end of it.
Yeah. And so now we're in the landscaping business. So then I started doing all the, gardening and things like that. But I missed talking to people. I missed socializing. I missed, meeting up with all of my clients or like friends of mine, because I was doing their hair for over 20 years. So I was a salon owner in that one spot, Midtown Salon, which you can find me on Instagram.
Her clients miss her so much.
Yeah, on Instagram. And, it'll show pictures of what I used to do. But I just missed it. I mean, I was in that spot for 13 years. I was a salon owner for a good over 20 years.
I miss just having the spot. I liked hanging out there.
It was so much fun.
At nighttime, it was a cool spot to hang out downtown.
It's great. Right in the West
restaurants.
There was
so many places
so
to walk
great.
And eat there, and then you had a place to come use the bathroom and hang out where it was clean.
Yeah, it was wonderful. And so, yes, now we're doing the gardening, and then I decided, you know what, I'm gonna start a YouTube channel. I was telling John, babe, I want to start a YouTube channel. And he was giggling, and I knew nothing about YouTube. I didn't know what YouTube was. I thought YouTube was like Instagram or Facebook. I just thought, you just post, I don't know, just like little videos. Because I was doing reels on Instagram. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and getting onto YouTube. So then I posted my first video on YouTube. And I went, and I didn't even tell John. I told John later on, after I posted it, I was like, I posted my first video. And because he was more computer savvy than I was, he was like, oh God, let me see what you do. Let me show me what you've done. And so then I showed him. And then after that, I was just like, you know what?
I said you're really comfortable on the camera. All you have to do is post a whole bunch of videos and you'll make money on YouTube.
And my goal wasn't even to do that.
She hit 500, but
my goal
if she did more videos, she would definitely
My goal was just to document our life. Because I was not raised with a mother, neither was John. John's mom passed away from some complications.
When I was 7 years old.
Yeah, it was I wouldn't say she wasn't ill herself.
It was an accident in the hospital.
Yeah. And so
she got sick, but it was an accident that killed her.
Yes. And so he was young, he was 7, and she left behind a 7-year-old, which is John, a 2-year-old, and a 2-month-old. So John's dad had to raise 3 children on his own. And then my mom and dad, they divorced, but she ended up, she was young. She was about 25. And so when I was 5, and so she moved off. She got remarried, and she moved off, and she had my little sister and brother, who I adore. And so me and my sister were raised by my dad, a single father. And so, both our parents are minorities. John's dad. You want to tell him your nationality?
Half Iranian. My dad was born in Shiraz, Iran, and then he came to America for college when he was young in New York. And then my mom was Irish. She was born in Galway, little south of Galway, Ireland, and she moved to New York. Well, they didn't really move to New York. They just went there for school, and then they met. And then they stayed there because they had me.
Yeah. And he still has family in both places, in both Ireland, that he keeps in close contact with. Yeah. And then for me, my dad is from Thailand. So I'm half Thai, and my mom's from Mexico. So Thai and Mexican. And, so my mom is Mexican, my father is from Thailand. They met in LA. and had my sister and I. And
if we would have had a kid, they would have never met a person that was 1/4 Iranian, 1/4 Irish, 1/4 Thai, 1/4 Mexican. There's no way.
yeah, no way.
That person, they've got to be out there. Statistically speaking, it's got to be happening. So
Yeah.
the chances of those two people running into each other, that's got to be.
It's
And
pretty slim.
actually talking about their ethnicity where they knew that they were both that exact name.
Yeah.
God, because I've never ran into anybody. I've ran into one guy that was half Iranian, half Irish, but his dad was Irish and his mom was Iranian, and he
So
looked
crazy.
more Irish than me.
That's so
He
nice.
looked red, like red hair, freckles.
Yeah. Yeah, so that is a little bit of a glimpse into our lives on who we are, how we met,
Talked about
what we
your.
did.
We talked about your. Oh, because you only did hair and I did events, but we didn't talk about how I was a mechanic before that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's
Before
okay.
that, yeah, he. This
I was-
guy is so many. He has so many hats.
Well, I changed careers about every 7 to 9 years.
Yeah, and not me. I'm like,
so
and I
far
stick to something.
consistently.
I like to stick to something, and I'll just take it and run with it. So my next goal
Watch me
is
switch
to.
again.
Yeah, we're not switching from landscape to something else. If that's happening, we're retiring. We're just going to be straight farmers. I want to turn the farm into so many things. But that's for next video. So hopefully you enjoyed this little glimpse into our lives. And maybe on the way back, we'll see how fast I can get this and uploaded. It's probably going to be uploaded by the time we get back.
And we'll listen to it, see if it's any good.
Yeah, to make
There's
sure it's good.
semi-trucks driving by with the windows down.
We don't even know.
Not sure if
if it
this
sounds
microphone's
good.
working good.
Yeah. So thank you for watching. Take care. Be safe. And we'll see you in the next video.
Peace!
Bye-bye.